Coastal Development Initiative, we have three development authorities: the Coastal Development Authority, the Middle Belt Development Authority, and the Northern Development Authority. This morning, we are honored to have the Honorable Lawyer Jerry Ahmed Shaib, who is the CEO of the Coastal Development Authority, and his team here. They are here to talk to us about the infrastructure that they've taken up at the place, and also to talk about a special campaign that they are embarking upon to clean our coast from Volta region all the way to Western region, and also to talk about some of the social intervention initiatives at the Coastal Development Authority. I'll proceed to introduce some of the dignitaries who have joined us this morning, and then in course of the program, as and when the rest walk in, we will introduce them as well. Joining us this morning, we have the government spokespersons. If you are here, let us acknowledge you. We also have some directors from the Coastal Development Authority who have joined us this morning. If you are here, kindly wave and then we acknowledge you. We have the Deputy CEO in charge of mobilization and private partnership, Mr. Emmanuel Afram Enim. We also have the Deputy CEO in charge of finance, Mr. Kingsley Kofi Kakari-Bonzi. We have the Deputy CEO in charge of projects, Mr. Charles Bob Abonto. We have the Deputy CEO in charge of corporate affairs, Ms. Mona Gertrude Efa. And as I mentioned earlier, the Chief Executive Officer himself, Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaib, who is a lawyer and a good friend. And I like him for one reason. The whole Ghana, he has more accolades than even the Great Olympics. So we welcome you to our ministry, and without wasting my time, I will invite Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaib to give us his presentation.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today to just give you an update of the Coastal Development Authority, what we've done so far, which we have themed our story so far. As part of achieving the principle of sustainable development and bringing development closer to the doorstep of our people, His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on 2nd January 2018, signed into law the Act establishing the Coastal Development Authority. The Coastal Development Authority Act 2017, Act 961, defines the Coastal Development Zone to include the Greater Accra region, the Central region, the Western region, and the Volta region. However, the creation of new regions in 2019 with Western, North, and OT, from then the Western region and Volta region respectively, the operational jurisdiction is now made up of 6 regions. That is Western region, Western North region, Central region, Greater Accra region, Volta region, and OT region. This covers 109 constituencies as at the end of 2021 in Ghana. So we show you the map of the Coastal Development Zone, if we have it. Well, the objects of the authority are to accelerate economic and social development in the Coastal Development Zone through strategic direction in the planning and prioritization of development projects. B, to mobilize public resources, including financial resources, and private and public investment for the accelerated economic and social development of the Coastal Development Zone. C, is to coordinate development activities in the coastal development zone with the aim of ensuring that public resources are effectively utilized and private sector investments achieve maximum development impacts to reduce poverty and deprivation in every part of the zone, and to formulate and implement initiatives towards achieving gender equality and empowerment of vulnerable groups in the coastal development zone. CODA started its operations in 2018, sometime April 2018, with a small number of staff from various agencies. However, in September 2019, it received commencement warrants from the Ministry of Finance to initiate project implementation. Prior to that, the Ministry of Special Development Initiatives had been the custodian of the budget and implementer of the government's IPEP policy. The IPEP policy is the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program. It's the vehicle through which our initiatives are run. The government's agenda for jobs, creating prosperity and equal opportunity for all in 2017 to 2024 stipulates that in order to ensure that IPEP and other local initiatives are implemented in a well-coordinated manner, government will set up the Coastal Development Authority as the main socio-economic development vehicle for the zone. Our interventions as a development authority have been in the following areas, or in the main areas as follows. 1, education. 2, health. 3, water for all. 4, sanitation for all. 5, sports development. 6, economic infrastructure. 7, roads and bridges. A total of about 1,473 project contracts have been awarded for execution across the 6 regions of the Development Authority. The regional breakdown is as follows. In Western North region, we have 125 projects. In Greater Accra, we have 380 projects. In Western region, we have 220 projects. In the Volta region, we have 229 projects. In Oti, we have 107 projects. And in the Central region, we have 412 projects, as depicted on the pie chart. The total number of projects in the Greater Accra region, like I indicated, are 380. And the breakdown is also as follows. We have them in the form of roads, in the form of bridges, in the form of economic interventions, in the form of water systems, in the form of health systems, in the form of drains, in the form of recreational facilities or centers, sanitation, education, and others. The total number of projects in the Central region, as I also indicated, which is 412, are also in the form of bridges, economic interventions, roads, water systems, health facilities, drains, recreational facilities, educational facilities, sanitation, and others. When you come to the Volta region, we have 229, same as we have indicated earlier. So you can find them in the form of roads, bridges, economic interventions, sanitation, education, drains, recreational, and health facilities. When you go to Oti region, you would see at least 107 projects in that region. And that constitutes, or that includes roads, bridges, drains, health facilities, sanitation, education, recreational facilities, water system, and others. In the Western region, you have about 220 of these projects, and they are in the form of bridges, economic interventions, roads, water systems, recreational facilities, education, and others. This, when you also come to Western North, we have about 125, and these are in the same format. So they are either in the form of bridges, drains, health facilities, education, sanitation, water systems, and others. As we speak, we have concluded at least a total of 129 before the compilation of these notes. 129 of these projects across the zone, which is the 6 regions and 109 constituencies. And they have been completed, and the remaining are at various stages of completion. Various stages means that some are about 95%, some are about 30%, some are about 20%, some are about 60%, some are about 99%. In fact, some are also almost done, or virtually done. All we are waiting for is to do the proper commissioning and handing over. Coastal Development Authority also sought to go through some strategic arrangements by taking delivery of some vehicles which we call the Bajaj Qute Pro Poor vehicles, and we distributed same to Okada riders who were our main focus, and some commercial drivers. The intervention was based on a hire purchase agreement, and beneficiaries will tell you that it is a good deal. That was at 25,000 cedis, and payment was made, a deposit of 5,000 was made, and as we speak, if you are owning that vehicle, you pay only 841 Ghana cedis a month for 2 years. That vehicle becomes your vehicle. The authority also procured and distributed about 3,000 subsidized outboard motors to fisherfolk, which included inland fishers. Now, outboard motors now sell at around 25,000 Ghana cedis. We had the directive of His Excellency to ensure that the fishers are taken care of in a manner that would help alleviate poverty within their sector. An outboard motor that sells at 25,000 cedis was given to the fishers at 10,000 Ghana cedis. The ones that sold at 14,500, which is the 15 horsepower, was given to the fishers at 5,000 Ghana cedis. We still have some in stock, and we are still getting them sold. The rationale for the procurement and distribution of these outboard motors at this subsidized price is to alleviate the plight of the fishers and empower them to do better in their trade. The impact has been an improvement in income and livelihoods. The Coastal Development Authority also formed or established the CODA Credit Union. This union is a non-profit financial institution managed by its members. What it means is that you have to be a shareholder to be a member. And the shareholding bit is to pay 100 Ghana cedis, and that is how you contribute. It's a member-owned financial cooperative. The focus is on traders, fishers, commercial drivers, food vendors, hawkers, and small-scale farmers. We can tell you that the very recent batch of the union members that took some money were very excited in taking same, especially when it was close to the festivities. So if you give somebody 2,000 cedis to go and engage in some business, which hitherto the person would not have even had 500 Ghana cedis. All the person needed was 500 Ghana cedis. That was a leap in the person's life. And that was what Coastal Development Authority did. The CODA Health Train is also an initiative that Coastal Development Authority took upon itself. The health train involves the provision of free health screening, medication, and surgeries for fibroid, especially for the women. I don't think the men have fibroid, but fibroid for the women, and hernia, which is purposely for the men, and other minor surgeries. So far, in collaboration with the National Health Insurance Authority, we were able to register people on the free NHIS, and we've been able to provide over 100,000 vulnerable people with their NHIS cards. That is a leap. Similarly, during COVID, what we did was also to get to the very vulnerable people. We produced some face masks and hand sanitizers. Some of the sanitizers, we still have some. And we still have some of the face masks. And we were able to do that about 204,000 of the nose masks and 15,000 of the hand sanitizers. And we provided same to the general public to help combat the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Coastal Development Authority also saw the need to partner with small-scale farmers. And so we went there to support them in various forms. The authority provided them with cutlasses, Wellington boots, spraying guns, and what have you, within the zone, with the aim of empowering these peasant farmers with the basic but essential implements required to do their work. And you can see the breakdown of some of the things we got for the peasant farmers. And that is what we call the CODA-Agric support. There is an intervention that we are very passionate about, which is the Clean Beach campaign. This intervention seeks to mobilize coastal communities to be involved in environmental cleanliness and provide basic infrastructure and facilities to maintain clean beaches with linkages for value addition in partnership with the Coastal Conservancy Organization, a local NGO, and the Center for Coastal Management in the University of Cape Coast. We are currently running a pilot, and if you go to the Korle Lagoon as we speak, we have installed the Korle Lagoon, we have installed a decimal liter trapping at the Korle Lagoon, and the essence basically is to trap and contain floating plastic being carried into the ocean or the sea. I'm sure when you see the pictures, you would marvel. So this was just when we got the litter trapping installed. So this is the third day. So second and third day. And you can imagine the kind of plastic that we were able to contain or accommodate within the period. That tells you the need or the urgency to clean our beaches of filth and squalor. The specific objectives of the CODA Clean Beach campaign include to support beach communities to improve environmental and ecological conditions along beachfronts by providing advocacy and media support for the CODA Clean Beach campaign. I'm happy to have all the media people here. Without you, there's no way we can succeed on this project. I've had people giving me calls about, how sure are you going to run this? First of all, we need the education, and the education comes from the media people. We can get to ensure that the beaches are very clean, rid of filth and squalor when the media takes up this project together with CODA and all other partners. I mean, anybody who may have had the opportunity of going to, say, Bahamas or wherever you can call a clean beach area, the only thing that is different from our beach is the cleanliness. So if we can do that in Bahamas, we are sure we can do that in Ghana, and that is the passion for CODA. So we intend to build capacity of local community-based partners to regularly clean their beaches, build capacity of these local community-based partners to process waste plastic materials into usable raw materials for recycling purposes. And we are doing this in partnership with the Kantaka group as we speak. They've worked on something they call the shredders that will shred all the plastics. And we are hopeful that if we are able to get them to agree on some terms, we should be able to have shredders all over the place so that all these plastics that will be picked can be shredded into reusable materials. We are also to provide infrastructure for reducing the amount of plastic waste materials deposited on the beaches from municipal waste discharge system. We are doing this with MMDCs and all stakeholders. All MMDCs within the zone are being engaged to support the campaign. The campaign will also have a strong private sector and development partner support in its implementation. Some of the challenges confronting the authority include the prevalence of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on planned activities and programs, non-availability of land and litigation in areas earmarked for some projects. This, we can tell you, we've even had to be in court for some of these situations. CODA's interventions have been meaningful in addressing the development gaps identified in the government's agenda for job policy framework. Specifically, basic needs infrastructure have been provided in hard-to-reach communities, hinterlands, in Ghana, revising our communities and revitalizing local economic development. Economic empowerment opportunities have been created for people within the zone. You can imagine a contractor who is working at, say, Salaga Market. He's employing more than 50 workers. He's also buying a lot of materials across. And the ripple effect or the economic benefit alone. And so if you're just opposing that with about the 1,400 and something projects we are doing and the several workers who have been employed, that is bringing food to the table of the Ghanaian people. So that's what we are saying, that we have contributed to job creation and employment opportunities that come with infrastructure provision. Partnerships and collaboration for the development of the zone are being strengthened both locally and internationally. We are currently engaging with private sector as well as embassies and high commissions in Ghana to form new partnership. We need you to be a partner. The media should definitely be a partner of CODA. As I resume my seat, we have just a 5 minutes documentary. This is just a teaser because our documentary will run for about 45 minutes or an hour. And based on that, I'm sure some of you will also give us the platform to air the documentaries in your, on your respective stations. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.
we are having a rough pitch, which can lead to easy injury. Many times when you are being injured, you get when you fall on the floor, you can get a scratch on our body. So this AstroTurf will even minimize the injury. CODA, we thank you for giving us this pitch, and we wish we introduce more pitches to other places where they don't have the chance to play on this pitch.
Okay, so we also have a photo gallery which will be running so that you get to know what is actually happening. And in subsequent presentation, because when we talk about 1,473 projects, that is no joke. And I would like us all to give CODA a round of applause because they've really done it. Some of these projects, you see them in the communities and think maybe they are old projects. But I mean, within this short period of time, if they are able to achieve all that and intend to do more. One thing I also found exciting was the fact that they are collaborating with Kantanka so that they will get shredders for us to handle this nuisance of plastic waste situation that we have on our beaches. We preach tourism, but with this kind of initiative, I believe it will really boost our tourism drive as a country. And as you can see, a lot of infrastructure on display to the benefit of many communities across 6 regions. So I would like to thank the CEO for that brilliant presentation and come to you, ladies and gentlemen, to take your questions. But before then, let us go through the pictures so that as you've gathered here, you will help us spread the good work because they've done so much and it's very, very impressive. Okay, so let's keep the pictures coming, after which we will go for the Q&A and go to Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaibu for his response. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we will take 3 sets of questions. So for each round, we will take 5 questions until we exhaust all the questions. And if you don't have any questions, it means they've done a good job and you've really taken the presentation in good faith. So I can see 3 hands from here. So I'll take 1, 2, 3. If we can take 2 more for this round. Okay, 4 at the back. Okay, so your name, media house, and then proceed with the question.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Arthur Mensah from Ghana News Agency. I want to commend CODA for doing a fantastic job.
Please, can you speak up?
Yes, I said I want to commend CODA for doing a fantastic job. I have a few questions for them. First question.
Let's stick to maximum 2 questions.
Oh.
If we have time, then we come back to you.
Okay. He mentioned that since 2018, CODA has awarded 1,473 projects, and currently 129 are at various stages of completion. I say it's very interesting because look at this number of contracts they have awarded and the margin they are in various stages of completion. I want to find out whether maybe because of funding issue, because I think they should have done better with that. And it also provide timelines with regards to such projects, if he can be kind to us to provide timelines. Then with the IPEP, that is Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Programs, and that will mostly known as $1 million per constituency. I want to find out whether government is able to fulfill his promise of providing that $1 million per constituency started. Then my third question is this CODA electric cars issue. I want to find, because when they started implementation, some of the drivers were complaining that it is like joining those long traffic queues. So there was agitation. I want to find out how they have managed to address such issues. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. So behind you, we'll take the second question from.
Can I?
Okay, Nana, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Shaibu. I want to find out from you, from what you have done so far, job creation that has emanated from your efforts, both permanent and temporary? How many jobs have been created in terms of all these projects you have rolled out? And then my second question, in undertaking some of these projects, you need funding. Who has been funding you? Is it donor support, government support, or what? Where are you getting your funding from to undertake all these projects so far? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. We'll take the third question.
Salam Babiji, the finder. You talked about 1,400 and something projects which you've undertaken, but there was no cost component to the presentation. You didn't give us how much the project cost. You didn't give us a regional breakdown of project cost, nothing of the nature. So can we have the cost, the funding for these projects? How much did it cost the taxpayer? Thank you.
Okay, so let's take the fourth at the back.
Good morning, CEO. That was an insightful presentation. My name is Bradford Donko, and I report for the Daily Statesman. I believe that we cannot talk about coastal development without making emphasis on some of the challenges posed by the coast. So I would like you to kind of send a message of admonition to the inhabitants of this coastal community so far as the protection of their lives, that is in respect to tidal waves. We can even cite the Keta tidal waves as an instance. So what admonition do you have for the inhabitants of those communities to ensure that such issues or challenges doesn't occur? Thank you.
Thank you. So we can take one more question for this round, but if there are no questions, I'll yield the podium to Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shai to give his answer.
Thank you very much for your questions. I think the first question has to do with out of the several projects, which is about 1,400 and something, why have we only completed about 129? I'm sure that's it. So I indicated in my presentation that our major bane has been COVID. When we started, we actually had the warrant, which is the commencement certificate to initiate projects in 2019. That was sometime in September 2019. Just around the time, you would have to go through processes which include procurement. So that in itself, you would have to wait to ensure that you are giving the projects to contractors that have capacity. And like I also indicated from the beginning, it's a new authority. We actually just started in 2018, got people who, most of my directors are directors from other institutions that had to join us and are doing very well. So all of this had to be processes we had to go through. Just when we finished with issues of procurement, then COVID roared his ugly head, and you know what that means. We were asked to stay home, and I've always believed in that saying of the president, and that you can always bring back the economy. But I'm sure that if you had died during COVID, you wouldn't, or if I had died, I wouldn't have been here to answer your questions. So that delayed the process for close to a year. In fact, we got contractors going back to do some of these jobs, and you also know there are issues. There were changes in prices of products, and there were other issues that came up. So these were all issues we had to deal with now to get to this level. By God's grace, things have been streamlined, and we've all gone back to work. Most of these projects are at very high stages of completion, and we are still praying that the contractors will be up to the task and they will deliver on time. Thank you. The issue on IPEP, whether or not the $1 million per constituency, yes, that's what it is really. All the monies that we are using to pay for these projects are cutting across the respective constituencies, which is the 109 constituencies. At the time we got the warrant, if it wasn't close to $1 million, because we got a warrant which was from the Ministry of Finance, which was about close to 680 million cedis. So if you are able to execute your project within the time, you are paid on time. Even if there are delays, at least the money is there for you to be paid. But the trick is that our money is not like it's not a statutory fund. It's not like the District Assembly's common fund, where the money is stationed there. Our money expires at the end of the year. And it is not money that has been given to us. It is money that is saying that this money is there. Do your project, go through the processes, and come for it. And that has been the system. So government is fully prosecuting its $1 million per constituency agenda. The source of funding, yes, there are two sources of funding. There is the government of Ghana and then the ABF, which is annual budget fund allocation. And all is really coming from government. And yes, if we are open to private partnerships. So if, for instance, you know a very solid partner that wants to also support us by providing us some funds, it doesn't necessarily have to be funds. So, for instance, with the Clean Beach campaign, if you can provide us with either shredders or the trappings, we are very minded to take them and to help execute our jobs. So that is also the case. So regional breakdown, it's quite a difficult question, and I'll tell you why. I can give you the cost specification of a project. So if I'm able to tell you that in Western region we've done 10 projects and they are from the health sector. So for instance, we are doing a CHIPS compound of at the tune of about 770,000. So if we have 10 of this CHIPS compound, then you multiply that by 770. But what we have expended so far is close to 162 million Ghana cedis, as in projects and interim payment certificates that have been raised. We are still paying contractors. Sometimes the process is a bit cumbersome, but God is king. We'll get there. Message of admonition. I think that it's high time people begin to think that one of the best places to make money is the beach. CODA intends to have what we call the CODA Sea Bus. The Sea Bus, Madam Minister, is to run from, say, Axim to Deno. If the sea bus is running and it gets to various destinations and the place is very clean, you know what it means. It's going to provide jobs, it's going to promote tourism, it's going to do a lot of things. Same way, we also intend to have at least 4 beach stadia across the zone. So in Kita, in Laboma, at Laboma, and in the central region, Dutch Commander, and then around Elembele. If you are able to have this beach stadia, beach stadia and beach soccer is one of the finest games right now in the sports fraternity. If properly we are able to harness all these talents from these zones, what it means is that there's going to be a lot of foreign exchange, there's going to be a lot of employment, there's going to be a lot of tourism, there is going to be a lot of clean environment, and people will not be bored because there will always be something for them to do. People will not go around, because I come from Choco, I know what it means. You do open defecation. Well, you more jiake, can you more draw? You must mona, when you were feeling MFA. Okay, if you are in a sunny in Shona, yo, sorry. If you are in a sunny Shona, yo, Taflache, Kaya no assumption, Jame. Kaya chebol or she. Kaya do moeko no kaga or weko muji. Woe bani. In Greater Accra Regional Minister, I get clean your frontage. It's part of the process. None of your bluff call like a complimentary. Get what check ma or friend or banyo what's a Ghana. Get ensure na fali ne fake benisa hamboe. Bo banyo trouble jeme. O banyo go o cheer you ata jeme. Alo jenaga. O banyo ke o nyanyo a hagbasani jeme. O banyo kon chewe double and chowa ata jeme ni bo mini. O hele koyo. O panye fai. Ye pamu na cho. Se mo mayenche. Your beaches clean. Thank you very much. Yes, job creation. My office alone, since the establishment of CODA, we have employed about 100 people. That is to start. So several homes have been taken care of. Beyond that, I've given you an indication. For instance, if you go to an Afro market, the contractor who is working at an Afro market, or if you went to the Apimenim, where we are building an accident and trauma center, which is a very solid project. What it seeks to do is to provide jobs to all those artisans. Those who are selling cement and nails and all those things that you need for construction. These are indirect ways of also providing those people jobs. So this is what we think we are doing. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll take the last but one set of questions. If you have any question, kindly show by hand your name and media house Okay, I think the presentation went very well. There are no questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's press briefing. Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaib and his deputies and directors from CODA, thanks for joining us this morning. And we hope that you'll come back again and we continue to give Ghanaians. That would be great. So thank you all for joining us. Good morning.